Hello everybody! As promised, we have the final. The best of 3 series between Kinguin and Gamers2. The Polish team in this game is actually going for a very aggressive composition in our first game on Garden of Terror. Playing this with a Falstad, having a Kaelthas in their midst, and then also a Nazeebo. So a lot of damage, especially spell damage that comes out of their lineup. And on the other side, we're having an Illidan Abathur composition. Something that I don't want to see, we haven't seen it lately, of course. Illidan dominated the last patch, but right now Metamorphosis got reduced in range, in radius, we also have a little bit of a damage reduce on that, and Illidan lost the unstoppable frames that he had on his swipe and also on his jump. So in this case, Illidan is still one of those tricky heroes where the teams don't really know, well, do we want to play him or not? Virtus Pro even using Hunt, for example, on him. So still one of those heroes where we have to see, okay, how does it feel like? Are the teams really in a position where they can make that work again? In this case now, we're having at the front line next to Illidan and Anuburak, and in the back there is always Sylvanas to help out with Wailing Arrow. But a pretty cool setup for the start into our best of 3 series here at the ZOTAC Cup final. So map number 1, Garden of Terror. And I guess let's find out who's going to take the lead here. Is it going to be Gamers2 or will Kinguin just continue that victory series that they already established on Garden of Terror as well? We're going to find out right now in the first game of the ZOTAC Cup final. Welcome to game number 1, everybody, in our final here at the ZOTAC Cup. The first game of potentially 3. We are seeing Kinguin going up against Gamers2, and to the left side of the map it is Kinguin with Nepse on Malfuria, Norok on Anuburak, the former Dignitas player, found a new home after Antihero left the team. Get Amherd on Abathur, we have Snow on Illidan, and Invidium on Sylvanas. To the right side of the map, the Polish team with Leo from Poland on Rhaegar, Nika on Falstad, Bacek on Nazeebo, Shihu on Johanna, and Juve on Kaelthas. ADRD left the team, of course. Juve came back. Both of them were benched for a few days, and well, Juve back in the team right now. Let's see what they can do with this new setup here. The team, of course, still quite strong, and we're curious to find out who's going to take map number 1 in this series. The talents in this case, the extended range on the spikes for Nurox and Anuburak, and on level 1 we have With the Wind for Sylvanas over Barbed Shot, which we see a bit more often. One of the questions that we of course have going into this game is if we are actually going to see the Hunt again, since it was a talent that has been played a lot more often in the past few days and weeks, just because Metamorphosis got nerfed quite a bit. And there is a potential on a big map like this to see Hunt over Metamorphosis taken. Metamorphosis lost the damage, or a lot of it, not all of the damage, but some of the damage that you do with the ability, and also the radius got decreased, which is a bit of a problem. Illidan also receiving a few additional nerfs that were not documented in the hero changes, but like there were a few unstoppable frames in his dive and also his sweep, and he lost both of them, and that's always a bit of a issue when you're jumping into an entire team. Right now, Get Amherd down to the bot lane with a Pajamathur. He's trying to do his thing on level 1. We are seeing him here with Pressurized Glance. As we have it Illidan in the game, we're of course not seeing that push build that ADRD tried in the last game against Kinguin, but instead it's more of a focus on a hero support build. You want to make sure that Illidan is as strong as he possibly can be later on in the game. Night falls, and that means that the seeds are on the map, and Snow is already moving in with his Illidan, trying to make that happen here, and of course that would mean that Abathur could also help him out with this. He's trying to steal those away from his opponent, so right now all good in the hood as Snow catches those, moves to the left. We are seeing the rest of the Polish team also jumping in. They have a lot of damage here on the board, with Nazeebo, with Kaelthas, and also Falstad. It's a lot of damage that you have. It's a lot of squishy heroes at the same time too, though, and this is one of the reasons why the Hunt might be a pretty good idea going into a battle like this. One of the big advantages if you go for the talent is that you can really stay at a distance and soak a different lane where the rest of your team is just dancing around the opponent, and once the engagement actually happens you go in. The reason why we normally find out on level 7 if the Hunt is taken is because Thirst would be taken to reduce the cooldown of the Hunt even further. Originally the cooldown is at 60 seconds, but of course one of the cool things about Illidan is that every single attack that he starts reduces the cooldown even further. It's basically like he has a built-in battle momentum. And if you then have also the Thirst on level 7, you can use that to further reduce it, and that's pretty damn cool. So you have like would say just this 30-second cooldown, so you can use the hunt twice or sometimes even 3 times during a single fight. Talking talents now, we have at the bot lane, first of all, still a double push here. Invidium has to use his Shadow Dagger to keep that at bay, but especially with the spiders now on level 4, you can do a bit more damage, and this is one of the reasons why Nazeebo is just like so annoying these days. It's of course quite nice if you can go for the seeds this early in the game, and there's already the first plant growing now, which is very, very nice for Kinguin that they are able to make that happen. They're seeing on level 4 the Adrenal Overlord, so it's just like this full support build to help out Snow in the later stages of the game. With a Loon's Graze and Moonburn taken, both of these talents are starting to establish themselves as the standard talents on the new Malfurion, if you so want. Loon's Graze, of course, giving him also a bit more safety thanks to the increased cast range that you have on all of your basic abilities. We have a double gathering power now for the opponent's team. The Polish team using that not only on Falstad but also on Kaelthas. And here's the first plant, and let's see what they can actually do with this one. First of all, they're going to secure this Bruiser camp, which was already contested by 2 players of Gamers2. And Gamers2 still very strong with the setup. Bashek was actually a player that formerly paid for, if I'm not mistaken, Pushek team. So he switched over to the #1 team in Poland currently. And Anuburak with the help of if Abathur is trying to just like take down this creep wave, whereas we already see Snow going straight for the tower. Bashek is actually trapping himself here with his wall of zombies. And we see the normal Illidan been at least up to this point, so first aid. Means that he could still go for the hunt, but it makes Metamorphosis a bit more likely. Nika up to the top on his false stat has taken on level 7 Boomerang over Secret Weapon, so it's going to be that burst build that we're seeing for Falstad, and that makes things interesting since currently Falstad is one of those heroes that is nearly exclusively built on auto attack damage. Oh, the kill! Yes, they get it against Kaelthas at the bot lane. Kinguin with a good job here. The German team is starting to really put pressure on the Polish team, and another Moonfire. Leo actually, oh my god, he didn't. Yes, he did. Shadow Wolf on level 4. Wow. He goes for the stealth on Ghost Wolf. I'm actually like wondering if that was a misclick. I've never seen this talent taken in competitive play. And both of these talents look, of course, exactly the same. So if he was under a little bit of pressure, good kill here up at the top, by the way. Illidan together with Abathur getting the kill against Falstad. But yeah, if he was under a bit of pressure when he took the level 4 talent, that would explain why he went for Shadow Wolf, because I don't really think that it's such a great talent to take, and I don't really think that he needs to do that. 4 seconds, not really the most value that you get out of that. Feral Heart is a talent where you have more lane sustain. I mean, it got nerfed in the last patch, so it's not 100% mana regeneration and hit point regeneration any longer, but 75 is still pretty solid, so it's still quite nice. Gerd needs to be careful here, and yeah, Bashik already saw what was going on, but he's not going to be able to get this kill. Oh, Gerd already helping out Snow once again, jumping in, Metamorphosis taken here on Illidan, and yes, they can take down at least one hero. They get Nazeebo, and can they kill maybe even more? They have level 10 just so much faster, and that helps them to go for one kill after another. Great silence that we saw there, and maybe Snow is going to make this happen, but yeah. He starts the kill, and then it is being followed up by 3 more heroes here. We're having actually the double Illidan now with the ultimate evolution that we've been seeing there. Level 20 could also be the evolutionary link. Usually we don't see that. It is instead Hive Mind, but well, you never know. Level 20 or level 10 talent also finally on board here for the Polish team. And Gamers2, they are struggling a bit. I mean, they're falling behind in experience in general. They're going to get their first plant now, which is going to be great. But still, seeds could be stolen away. And yeah, there is already a plant on the way now for them. Snow is moving in at the bot lane though, together with Neps and Invidium. We will see Gerd jumping in with Abathur in just a few seconds. They are nearly a 1.5 level ahead, and now they're still moving in. Leo is down here. He's starting to run a bit out of mana. This is usually where Feral Heart helps you out, but that Shadow Wolf talent definitely not what we expected. And I'm still pretty sure that that was a misclick. For now we have, yeah, Anuburak moving back, since, well, that was a pretty decent Phoenix if you really want to just like retreat and not go into a battle there. So yeah, the seeds on the side of the Polish team allow them to get the next plant. We have up at the top lane still one of the Garden Terrors in position so that they can drop additional 60 seeds. That's not really going to help Kinguin to get a plant. It's going to be really close. I mean, if they get all of these seeds, it's going to be 97 seeds for them, which is going to be great for the next night, but they have to defend against this plant here. So, yeah, at this point, Snow and Nurok are already there. We're having Shihu starting to move in and trying to steal a few of them away. Here comes the plant now as well. A lot of the seeds taken by Kinguin, but still Gamers2, they steal a fair share. Well played by the Polish team, taking those out. 4 kills against 0, still in the game though. And, well, with that silence, they're not going to get the kill here, especially with Abathur jumping in and trying to help out here. Nurok is up at the top, defending, but the rest of the team, especially, of course, Abathur, trying to do his thing at the bot lane. Pushing in against the fort here, and Gad is going to have a very good position to actually drop a fort for a fort, because at this point it looks very much like they might lose the one up at the top here. Nice ancestral healing. Jaina actually in a bit of trouble. Shihu has to be careful as Snow is jumping in once again to put Rhaegar under pressure. The kill against the Nubarak, the first one for the Polish team. Shadow Wolf allowing Leo to move back here, and again Metamorphosis being used. 1 kill, 2 kills. Falstad and Nazeebo are both dead, and the attempted drop against now Johanna as well. 3 kills already, and Kaelthas, well, he at least takes down Illidan, but he dies now as well. Very, very good fight once again for the German team, and they are running their level 13 talents now too. With Gadam head down here at the bot lane, trying of course to apply a bit more pressure against the fort, which is nearly running out of ammunition already. We have him with Needle Spine on level 7 and Soma Transference on level 13. And as already predicted earlier, we see quite a fair amount of spell shields in this game, especially of course on the Nubarak and Sylvanas, because you kind of need that. I mean, without spell shield going up against heroes like Nazeebo, Kaelthas, and also Falstad with the Hinterland Blast, not really what you want, so that talent is going to help them a lot with survivability. Nepson Malfurion is rolling the dice here with going not only for level 7 Enduring Growth, but also Life Seed instead of taking an Ice Block, so he needs to make sure that especially later on in the game he's going to dodge those very nasty flame strikes with Ignite, because that could be a problem. Shihu, thanks to his level 1 talent, is already starting to take down additional mercenary camps, because that's what it's all about right now, getting those camps. And don't forget that we have a very nice seed situation on the side of Gamers2. They have 93 already. Nurok moving in over here. Level 13 talents finally now also on the board for the Polish team, and that allows them to go straight for those chain waves. Oh, Nurok! Too far out. Great hit also on the side of Falstad, and yeah, Gad is going to fall on his Illidan copy. That's of course not a big problem, but the loss of Nubarak is definitely a lot more annoying in this situation. Level 7 talent that we are seeing at this point on the side of Johanna is Hold Your Ground with the Iron Skin increase, but yeah, he's already burrowing himself into the mid lane right now. The fort down here was dropped, and that gave them additional experience points. And they're pretty close actually to level 16 now. And with that nice push up at the top lane, even one of the siege giants still alive, they can now just rush in, drop this one, and nearly get level 16. And that's of course going to be the big next level, just because you want to have that extra talent. And it's going to be a great talent for them, considering that we're going to see a Cold Embrace on Invidium's Sylvanas. We're going to see Illidan, of course, with a potential Blood for Blood here. There's Abathur that can go straight into the additional support with a slow, thanks to his spikes. That's like a lot of good stuff that happens on level 16 for the team. Tenacious Roots even over a potential Hardened Focus. It's a triple Blood for Blood, by the way, not even a Cold Embrace. We don't see Blood for Blood as often anymore on Sylvanas as we did in the past. Cold Embrace is starting to really take the spot, just because Blood for Blood got nerfed in the last patch a bit, but not too much. Uh-oh! That was a good kill against Malfurion, and now they have to move back. They cannot fight. Losing the Abathur copy again. Yeah, the last 2 battles, I have to say that the way that Kinguin engaged into those was a bit careless. Losing a hero this early in the fight, just like moving in and getting that sniped when you are a talent ahead, is not really what you want to happen, especially when the knight just fell and you're trying to get seeds. So of course they're going to get their own plant, but the question is, what kind of setup are they going to get for the next knight? That's going to be the tricky one. If your healer dies this early and then you also lose the Abathur copy, you can't really fight in a team fight, and that is the big problem that Kinguin is facing right now. So they're not going to be happy about this one, especially considering how far ahead they were, because they are starting to lose that advantage really fast. Well, down here we have again the position with the pot, so they're using that already. Up over to the plant, we're seeing Malfurion of course now coming back, but Juve is already on that plant, can use that. tidal wave being used. Overdrive, of course, since we have Boomerang taken. We have the static shield on 13 on Falstad, in case that you were in doubt which talent he took there. Nice Hinterlight Blast again, and Snow dodging it with the Metamorphosis. He's trying to jump in here, needs to dodge Gary, though the Gargantuan is moving in. The kill against Falstad, but Malfurion is already dead. Now we have no heal anymore for Team Kinguin, but it's still Illidan trying to chase them down here, one after another. Nuruk is extremely low, dodges, condemn, and up to the top we are seeing Snow dropping Leo, at least trying to, but that Shadow Wolf allows him to escape once again. Shadow Wolf is it going to be a misclick, yes or no? Not quite sure, but with all the pursuit that we're seeing from Snow and other targets, Shadow Wolf at least allows him to get away there. Snow is about to die, and yes, he will. Oh god, so close though. But yeah, Snow dead, so it's a 2 for 2 in the end, but looked for a second like he would be able to make this work. We have now the plant moving in. Gerd is actually on Abathur in the plant, and that is risky to say the least, but he might be able to put some pressure onto the keep here. Up to the top, we're seeing Juve already moving back on his Kaelthas. But yeah, run Abathur, run. That's another 20 seconds, and he needs to make sure that he gets out of there, because if he doesn't, then he is going to die within a second. Right now, we have Nurok and Gerd trying to get something out of that plan still. Maybe dropping another pot is already what they can do here. Even if you only take down the tower, that's better than nothing. We have level 16 talents now, of course, also on the side of their opponent's team. So Germany versus Poland is still going strong here. And it's a double plant for the Polish team. That's really this is the real strength of the Polish team right now, that they were able to dominate the objective fights. Every single time there was an objective for the last, like, I guess 3 nights, they were in a better position and got a superior seed count. So it's, oh, nice silence here. Good silence. And that is something that Snow is trying to use to drop. Yes, he gets Kaelthas. Well done. And now they're going straight for Johanna. But the Abathur copy is already dead. The problem is that Abathur himself is still surviving. The only question is for how long. And Snow gets away since Nurok is helping him out. The Beetle got his back. Oh, the kill against Falstad. Not happening, but nearly a kill against Bashek. Both of them moving away though. It looked for a second like Falstad might get the kill against Illidan, but the stun of Nurok was just enough to slow him down for long enough. Still, the plant is there for another couple of seconds. They have to take it now. They were trying to wait out the death timers, of course, for as long as they could, but well, at 25 seconds on Johanna, they have to finally put it to some use. Abathur up at the top is soaking with his body. Nika, he sees that and he snipes him, but he is probably going to pay with his own life for this. Yeah, goodbye Falstad. Well, Abathur for Falstad, so that trade leaves us still in a 4 versus 3 situation, at least for another couple of seconds, until Johanna is back. The plant is buying some time. This is one of the really important things. This late in the game, you can't rush in with a plant when you know that the rest of your team isn't ready to help you out. You would just be bursted down, and then the objective would not give you anything at all. But with 1 minute on the counter, you can just like wait that out, you can wait a lot, and then you can still go straight for it. Nepse is already there. There we have already the attempt to just like drop in another fort. The kill against Kaelthas is something that shouldn't have happened on the other hand. And they might even get another one against maybe Johanna here. Nah, not quite. Leo so far can actually stay pretty safe. With the Shadow Wolf that he took on level 4, he can have the survivability. You of course don't have that lane sustain, especially in the early stage of the game, that Feral Heart gives you. And Feral Heart is still the dominant talent on level 4. I'm not quite sure if it's a misclick or not, since on the European server at least we have still normally Feral Heart taken. But it at least helps him to escape from Illidan, and that is kind of nice, because in 2 situations already he was able to get away from Illidan just because of those extra invisibility seconds. Without those, Illidan would have taken him out. As is though, Bashek is already running away on the plant again. He got a fort. So that's what he got from the entire plan. Not too much, but now it's of course sea time once again. And this time, Kinguin is in the better spot. They have the 20 faster, they can force the battle here, and they have now Hive Mind, they have Demonic Form, a Hardened Shield and a Nubarak. We're seeing a mobility thanks to the Bolt of the Storm on Sylvanas, and also a Storm Shield on Malfurion, which is of course going to help with the survivability. Invidium up at the top, going for the silence, getting a good one against Nazeebo. Here comes the heal from Rhaegar, and Illidan jumping in again. Ice Block being used on Nazeebo, but now is everywhere game once more, and wow, that momentum that we're seeing for Kinguin. Bam! The kill against Nazeebo. He had his own Bolt of the Storm and was using it, but there's no escaping this one any longer. Juve is also about to be taken out, was trying to just save his life with another Gravity Lapse, but that didn't work. Shiku and also Leo are moving back here, and this is a potential team wipe. 4 heroes already dead. Johanna the only one getting away there, and of course this means that we are going to see the first keep going down, and this is only where the trouble starts, because the plant is already on the way. Abathur was going for this one and is using his sprint again. They're probably going to try an end here. They're going to try and go for core, and so they should. In this situation, there's only Johanna still alive, so what you going to do? There's very, very little. 50,000 hero damage on the side of Sylvanas. Not even Kaelthas. Well, not even Kaelthas could really turn this around. He is, of course, again the top damage dealer, but that didn't help them. Shiku about to die, at least going to proc his shield. There it is, but game is over. This is GG in game number 1, Garden of Terror, won by Team Kinguin, and they take the lead in this best of 3 series against Gamers2. Wow, great game there by Kinguin again. Really solid performance here, and Illidan completely coming through. A lot of back and forth fights here, and I mean those seed fights were really good, especially in the mid game. We saw Gamers2 with a pretty cool position there, getting just seed after seed, always having a bit of a surplus and moving in with those plans. But then in the end, the momentum that Kinguin really gathered, thanks to Illidan jumping in, taking down targets, that was just all that they needed. In the last fight, it was of course exactly that. I mean, even Nazeebo and everybody else trying to get away with the Bolt of the Storm, Illidan just following this up and getting one kill after another, and they were able to just carry that into the heart of Gamers2's base, and the Polish team couldn't defend anymore. Very well played, and a pretty damn good game for a start into this best of 3 series at the final. Personally, I hope for a 3-map series here, but well, we'll find out. Our second map is going to be Cursed Hollow. Kinguin is currently in the lead, so they only need one more map. Gamers2 needs to win 2 in a row now if they want to take the finals here. And on our next map, we are going to see once again a pretty cool setup here. First of all, we have a double tank. Double tank for Gamers2, so a very like sustainable comp that they have. Johanna plus Anuburak, really strong. And in the back line, Vala together with Kaelthas. So 2 heroes that can really supply a whole lot of damage. And that is of course something where Kinguin might actually struggle a little bit. Breaking through that is not going to be easy at all. And in this case, we had also in the draft a big focus on the tanks. So Gamers2, of course, picking a double tank, banning one out, kind of forcing Kinguin into an Arthas, which we actually seen by Kinguin in the past. And Kinguin is running this with the Tyrande now too. So with Tyrande and Arthas, they suddenly have that lockdown potential again with the Ranger's Mark, where they can really try and drop a target very early in the game or in the fight, especially with a Jaina behind them to supply the extra damage. If they can make that work though, against that heavy double tank lineup that we are seeing on the side of Gamers2, that's a completely different question. So guys, next game coming up. Second game, is it going to be a tie, or will Kinguin take it with the 2-0 here? Game number 2 between Kinguin and Gamers2, and Kinguin is in the lead currently with a 1-0 in this best of 3 series. So if they take the match here in Cursed Hollow, they are victorious and the final here. To the left side we have Nepsa on Malfurion for Kinguin with Nurok again on Arthas. There was a heavy focus on banning out tanks in the draft. Get Herd on Jaina, not on Abathur this time. We have Snow and Tyrande to try and combo together with Nurok's Lockdown thanks to Howling Blast and Ibidium on Sylvanas. To the right side of the map, the Polish team with Leo from Korea on Uther, Bacek on Kaelthas, Shichu on Anuburak, and we have Juve on Johanna, so double tank combo with Nika on Vala. And yeah, this promises to be a pretty cool match again. We have also now Regeneration Master chosen on one hero, which is Anuburak in this case. I'm actually liking this a lot. Like, Regeneration Master is an amazing talent. The longer the game goes, the better it gets. It's just crazy how much hit point regeneration you can have later on in the game, especially when you're playing a hero that also has amplified healing. It's very cool. So right now, when it comes to talents, once again, with the Wind taken over the potential Barbed Shot, Moonburn taken over here. The rest of the talents, of course, kind of self-explanatory, especially with the block on Arthas here. We have Uther going for Conjurer's Pursuit. As mentioned before, Reach is an alternative talent that we see a lot these days, just because, well, Regeneration Master is kind of got buffed I think the break-even point is 24 globes that you have to collect, and after that the new Regeneration Master is better than the old one, because it lost the flat-out bonus of 4 healing points, or 4 hit points healed per second, so you have to make up for that. But we're seeing in this case, especially Conjurer's Pursuit, by most players they say, alright, it's not as good as it was before, it doesn't really give me that bonus anymore that I want in the early stages of the game. So at this point, composite arrows also taken for the range on Vala. We could see the full multi-shot build, or once again a hybrid. Nurok and Nepso, of course, are already strong with the lockdown here, and just barely missing Nika. Very well done by Nika, by the way, just moving back there. I'm kind of liking this mount, by the way. Like, a lot of the heroes are currently using this one. It's of course the Butcher's mount that we saw in the last package. But yeah, kind of interesting setup there. In general, I'm really liking this. I mean, we are currently looking at a double tank, and this is a really difficult lineup to get through. I mean, if you look at the Anubarak and Johanna comp, it is great. For the longest time, it was Anubarak together with Muradin, which was just absolutely powerful and very strong, especially on the European server. The win ratio when you had those two heroes in your front line was insane. But now, these days, it is of course Johanna, which is one of the high priority tanks. Probably like the most fought over tank in the game at this point, and if you can combo that with another tank, getting to that backline is very, very difficult. And in the backline we have two great damage dealers with Vala and Kaelthas. Down to the bot lane on the other hand with the Sylvanas in the setup of Kinguin. Whoa, not only is Nika suddenly very close to dying, might actually drop here, still poison, but they're also losing their towers. And the Owl is nearly hitting Vala, but not even needed. Good kill at the perfect time as well. So in this case, Venom doing a decent job. That must have been very frustrating. Nika could have basically watched himself die. I'm not quite sure if he had a chance of moving away and trying to reach Leo, but probably not. So the first tribute ends up in the hands of Kinguin, and they are establishing a slight lead. The talent on level 4 for Vala with a puncturing arrow, and we also see the range on the burrow charge, so cool to see that on the side of Anubarak. So he's trying to go deep with this one. Laws of Hope for Johanna, and still that tri-lane at the bottom trying to push in together with Sylvanas, of course. Snowstorm taken for Jaina. Great talent if you really want to catch those waves, and also of course have a bigger chance of dropping the second Blizzard in. Jaina at the top lane is in a bit of trouble though. Oh, nice comp, but yes, Gerd is not able to survive this one. He was actually trying, and for a second it looked like he might be able to move away, but not quite. So they're starting to lose a bit of experience at the bot lane. There's very little they can do about that. Of course, the rotation is already happening. We have Tyrande moving into the mid lane and Arthas up to the top, so that they will keep the experience loss to a minimum. But it still allows the Polish team to hit level 7 faster. And on level 7, we are seeing Shed Exoskeleton. That is an interesting one to see there. On level 7, usually what we had was with the Beetle build, either the Leeching Scarabs, or if you went for the Stun build, or if you went for more of the utility, better Barbs was really good on the Impale. But this is a pretty cool thing to see here on the side of Anubarak, so a bit more of additional sustain. Unstable poison taken for Sylvanas. Down here, Nika is split from the rest of the team. The fight itself is happening up here at the top, where Nurok needs to be careful. Good lockdown. And the stun just barely missing Shiku. That would have been a tough one. Nurok is still at the front, gets healed by Nepsa constantly from the back here. Also, the Beetle's still up at the front, trying to, of course, avoid also that one of the team or one of the heroes is starting a channel. Having both of them now on level 7, and here is again the repeating arrow. It's a massive damage build that we're seeing for Vala, with only 2 damage dealers in the team and 2 tanks there going for maximum damage. If you go for the arrow build, you try to get the self-sustain on level 1 as well, but in this case, the entire build that Vala is using is just about the maximum amount of damage that you can put out. The problem is that Vala in this case dying here. Oh, nice. Actually a pretty cool move there, making sure that Bashek couldn't even teleport back, so it's going to take a bit longer for him to actually move back, get mana and hit points again, and that is now suddenly the reason why we're seeing the tri-lane here dropping another tower and moving in with this. So Snow pausing the game, actually a cool timing, because that allows us to go over a few of the talents and also a few of the moves here. Once again, the repeating arrow, of course, comboing with a puncturing arrow here, and that is just making sure that you get the maximum amount of damage with multi-shot increase from the safe distance as well. So pretty cool if you want to just get as much damage out as possible. That also means, of course, that the tanks have really to start peel for you really well. If they don't do that, then you are in trouble. Frostbitten and Deep Chill, the talents that we're seeing on Jaina. Well, for Nurok, he can now rotate up to the top to soak the experience. The towers are already starting to shoot on this wave. If you look at the experience up here, we have the team still fairly even, but you need to catch this wave, and this is exactly what Nurok is currently trying to do. Down here, Juve is establishing himself in the mid lane, as is Gerd, and down to the bot lane, this is where really the biggest battle currently happens, since they can now take down the well. And if you drop the well, then of course it's going to be so... Oh! Are they going to get the kill? Nah. But yeah, if you drop the well, your opponent has a much tougher time to hold the lane, because they have to go all the way back to heal up into base if they are dropping low on mana or hit points. Nurok soaked the experience already over here. It's just like waiting. Keep in mind, 2 of the tributes are already in hands of Team Kinguin. Oh, going in from behind, trying to use Frostburn there for the damage. Demolitionist, not Demolitionist, Destruction, of course. Well, starts with a D as well, I suppose. We're having, in this case, a lot of extra damage on Frostman, in a total, of course, 150%. And the last time that we saw Nurok play the hero, he combined that with a level 16 talent, so that you have 2 of those attacks. Frostman feeds, Arthas does not, but as long as you get the damage in, you're fine. And here again, the damage against Johanna, moving in with the trade and the shield. And of course, there's once again the Frozen Tempest on Nurok, trying to just like lock one of these heroes down. Needs to be careful with the mana on the other hand. Attempt by Bashik here to just use the gravity lapse against one of the heroes. Doesn't get that one done just yet. Here's level 10 nearly for Team Kinguin. If they get that with Sylvanas at the bot lane in the fight, that would be great. And the kill against the Nuberbrock. But Jaina is now down too. That they could potentially drop Uther, and they do. Uther already dead. Nepse with level 10 is going straight for Tranquility. And still the attempt to get the tribute. They don't want to be cursed. Here comes Stray, finally on level 10 as well. That might be all that they needed. Bashik is moving in from the top. Nepse is low, so is Snow, and both of them die. Nurok and his team, they thought that they had this one secured already, but not quite. In comes Nika, trying to drop now Nurok as well, has to move back, but of course that also means that they had to abandon the bot lane, and in this case, Invidium just could take down the fort. Doesn't really mean too much in experience, but we are on a map where you can get 2 bosses, 2 golems, and if you get this bad boy, of course it means that he doesn't have to go through the fort at the bot lane anymore, so that really sets them up for the later stages of the game. Web Blast taken on Nuberak. Don't really have to go for maximum survivability with a Locust Swarm here, especially since Locust Swarm got nerfed in damage and also in Leech in the last patch, so right now they're just using this. Talent once again, here the movement speed increase on the Nuberak, just in case that you're wondering or tuned in a bit later. Here's currently the Shed Exoskeleton, no big surprises when it comes to rogue abilities overall. We're having, of course, Army of the Dead being used on Nurok, Tranquility here now as well. And still both of the teams rotating on the map, with Nurok trying to put a bit of pressure up at the top lane, or at least getting the next wave here. So yeah, they are waiting for the tribute. We have at the bot lane still Sylvanas starting to rotate over as well, since we're seeing Gamers2 in full force in the mid lane, present and trying to drop a couple of structures. The tribute is there though, and that will trigger Nurok to move down now as well, but he's already going for one of the towers, and he's definitely going to get this one. Level 12 for both of the teams, so no talent lead for neither one. But Nurok is split from the rest of the team, and they have to be careful here. If they let this one go, then it means that it's going to be 2 tributes for either team. Nurok about to move in, there's the tribute, they capture it out. The position was just better for Gamers2. They had the push in the mid lane going, and then they could rotate much faster and take position there. The next one is going to be the important one. Damage against the wall again. We're going to go straight for this very close game thus far. Very, very close game indeed. All of the heroic abilities are off cooldown at this point. Nurok up at the front is getting healed out by Nepse, and again trying to use the Black Arrow on Vidom. Nice! Jaina might be in trouble here with Shiko moving in, and she gets dropped. Starfall and Phoenix used, but Nurok trying to escape here. He's using his Army of the Dead, but this is Gamers2 getting the kill. Frostman actually thrown to the side, and immediately a rotation to the bottom where we're currently seeing another tribute spawning, and also Nepse is trying to escape that way. He might die now too, and that is, yeah, of course he's not gonna make it. So with this, things could not really be much worse for Kinguin right now. They are still on the same level, so in experience they're fine. It's really just the position in the game where they suddenly like fell behind a lot. They are currently cursed. They know what's going on at the boss. They're trying to rotate in to contest it, but they might be a bit too late. Water Elemental is already there. Here comes Invidum, goes for the silence. They're trying to isolate him as much as they can, and there's a near kill against Uther. Has to use the Divine Shield. Here's the Phoenix again for the zoning, and Uruk is already moving and trying to go straight for the stop. Maybe Gamers2 throwing this one. They're about to lose one of the heroes, but Nurok, is he gonna survive? No, he's not. They take the boss, move in, 2 kills, 3 kills. Gamers2 so close. They lose an Uberak. They nearly lost the boss. This could have gone either way, but unfortunately for Kinguin, they are not able to make it happen. And now there's the boss pushing in at the bot lane with another 20 seconds on the curse. He's gonna get that fort easy peasy. A massive lead in experience right now. After the last lost fight, Kinguin was trying to contest the boss, doing what they could there, but now that they lost another set of heroes and also the boss while being cursed, they are in a horrible position. The fort in the mid lane nearly dying. Sylvanas is going to be able to save it for now, but not for long. And the boss at the top lane is of course going to be attacked now as well. The owl is moving in. It's 14 versus 15, but there cannot be any kind of rotation since the boss at the bottom lane is still being fought over. Very well played on the side of Team Gamers2. The Polish team with a great move here. The 13 talents are ready for both of the teams with a double burning rage now. The extra damage from the 2 tanks emanating. Spell shield on Uther, keeping him a bit safer, and we're seeing Frost Shot taken on Vala. Yeah, really nice position there for Gamers2, and they will have that level 16 talent very, very soon. But that last fight, that could really have gone either way. If a Nubarak dies a bit faster, then all of a sudden it's Kinguin taking the kills, taking the fight, taking the boss, and then the whole match, it completely skips. So in this case, we're having the boss moving in at the top lane. The 16 talent is there. That means, of course, Ignite plus Flamethrower on Kaelthas. And well, good luck with that, Kinguin. Dealing with this is not going to be easy, even with Nepsa on Malfury and having that area heal. Yeah, but there it is already. I mean, that damage. Oh my god. Doing what he can. Life Seed on 13 for him. Ice block there. But it is another keep that is being attacked. And this time the entire Polish army is behind this. They're still waiting for level 16. Kinguin, that is. They need the extra talent, but they do not have it. And the boss is just wreaking havoc over here. Good Starfall for the zoning, though. They keep the keep alive, at least for now. And we're seeing them finally on the level 16 talent with the Tenacious Roots, with the Stone Skin. Nuruk with the survivability. So that at least helps. In this situation, they can try and take a fight. We're having now on 16 Numbing Blast taken once again. And Ranger talent for the Owl. Gonna try and use that so that they get a bit more damage in. On level, we have no Piercing Owl. So yeah, they don't have Pierce taken. So in this case, this is of course not a full Owl build. Snow will not be able to do too much damage with this. They're at least gonna help him a bit. More of a hybrid than anything else. Not going for the True Shot aura. And we're having both of them going straight for the tribute. This would be Curse against Gamers2. This is a chance. This is a chance that Kinguin has now. Maybe they can make it work. We're having Nurok moving in straight again, but this is all about positioning right now, of course. If you can lock a target down and snipe it, then you're in a good spot, and they're gonna try and do exactly that. Strafe already be used. Web Blast is there, and the Phoenix for the zoning, and immediately Jaina being attacked, but Ice Block is saving her for now. Snow is in the backline. Invidum as well, but down goes Jaina, and Nubarak is now dead as well. Good stun against Johanna. Very good stun. Here comes another Condemn, and this time Juve is not gonna make it. And boom, all of a sudden, we are not seeing a single tank anymore in the lineup of Gamers2, so they are very exposed. The backline is vulnerable. We have Nika and Bacek trying to just move back, trying to delay with Jaina out of the game. Of course, there's also the problem of lacking maybe a bit of damage, but with Nurok having an ability to use still Frostman and maybe locking somebody down, they could get that kill. Driving the opponent back, that is enough for now, and at least they are getting the curse, so maybe they can start a bit of a comeback now. 11 kills against 7 at this point. Level 16, they're going straight down here, trying to maybe even catch Bashik out, but yeah, they can't make that work. Nurok was just a bit too far back. But this game, it's not over just yet. In structures, of course, like no doubt, Gamers2 is they are way ahead. They dropped all 3 forts. They nearly dropped the keep already. They went through 2 of the walls, but they have not won the game yet. It's a 5 versus 5 once again. And there's the damage against Nepsa. Once more, can they maybe get a quick kill here against somebody? It doesn't really look likely, and we already have a rotation from Jaina into the mid lane just saying, okay, I'm gonna use that curse now to drop at least the second fort in the mid lane, and we are going to get even inexperienced with our opponents so that we can at least aim for an earlier level 20. And that's exactly what they're currently doing here. So Nurok is already here, is starting to move in. We have Gerd, Amherd, Invidum, they're all sieging up. The curse is still going to be active for another 4 seconds. Very nice dodge against that flame strike, by the way. Very, very good. Malfurion, let's look at the healing numbers just for a second. Malfurion is currently looking at 34,000 heal. Uther is at solid 32,000, very respectable. Uther is also a little bit... I really like how they dodge these flame strikes, by the way. Like, very well done. I mean, that could have hit, by the way, Nika also trying to get the damage in now. Needs to be careful because there's a lot of stun potential, and once he gets locked down, he is probably not going to make it. In damage, we are having especially Sylvanas on the side of the blue team in a very solid position, but Kaelthas and Vala both with 37,000 damage, and that's exactly what they're of course supposed to do. Therefore also the full damage build that we're seeing on Vala here with that multi-shot talent on level 1 and 13, but instead of having, well, let's say searing attacks for example taken on 7, we are seeing the repeating arrow together with a puncturing one on 7 for full damage. Over there, oh, that divine shield, wow, that was a last second move, like that could have easily been a kill. And again the dodge on the flame strike, always moving out, always on the move, not posing a target. And of course the cooldown is still active now for Kaelthas, and that's exactly the time that they tried to use to go for the bruiser camp here. They want this, one hit this time with the flame strike, but they're moving in for the kill right now, and there's already a Phoenix at the same time as seeing the Starfall, and the kill against the Nubarak is down already, and they kill Uther. They might get the kill against Kaelthas. No, Bashek is already away, but here comes another stray from Nika in the backline as Johanna dies, and Kinguin, oh my god, Kinguin, they turn it around, suddenly they are ahead. Look at Gerd, he's so low, and Tyrande is actually dying. Bashek is still there, he still wants the flame strike, he is so low, he needs to go back, but they prevent for now the keep from falling. Very nice defense from the last remaining heroes here. Bashek finally has to move back to get mana and hit points, but they made sure that Kinguin couldn't move in to take the keep. And now of course it's a boss that they're aiming for. They're going for the boss at the bot lane, and well, how is Gamers2 going to react here? They have only 2 heroes on the map. They can't really do too much, and they know that boss is being attacked now. So there's no rotation left to them. They can't really rotate over and try to do anything about it, but at least they're able to deep-push the lanes, and they're already starting the boss at the top lane. The problem is, if Kinguin is moving to the top lane immediately, which they're not, they have to heal, they were hurt, and they are lacking mana, then they might have been able to do something. The problem, of course, for Gamers2 is they didn't know that. So Gamers2 is just sitting there. They see the boss caught or captured at the bot lane, and they're realizing, well, if they walk up to the top now, then we will still be fighting the boss and they can go straight for us. So they move back, they give it up, gets leashed again, and they're also giving up now the tribute. It's only the first tribute, so it's not really something where they have to be too worried, but they have to deal with the boss at the bot lane, and that's a completely different story. But they are apparently confident that the towers are going to take care of this while they move up to the top, and right now that boss is only halfway down. Double storm shield, double bolt of the storm, one hardened shield. They're trying to zone. Nurok gets stunned, gets hit, and Nubarak is stunned just before he can go in. Very well done. A good attempt to take the boss here on the side of Kinguin, and now they can also capture the tribute. They're moving into the mid lane. At the bot lane, the boss is still attacking the keep. So that was a move for Gamers2 where they didn't get anything out of it. They abandoned the boss to take down hit points off the keep because they thought they might be able to do something about the boss attempt up at the top. But then when they arrived, it was already too late. Now mid lane, being attacked, being put down. We have the boss up at the top. The only thing that Kinguin has to do right now is buy some time. Buying time is the only thing that they need to do so that the boss can go for the keep. This is an amazing situation for Kinguin. It's a really tense position, but still they're going for the middle right now. They're trying to get the first one. Once again the flame strike hitting, but this time the keep is going to fall. Job well done by Kinguin. The bot lane is already pressured, only at half HP, and the boss up here at the top has done the exact same thing to the top keep now as well. Very, very cool game here. I mean, that earlier problem with the boss there, and suddenly Gamers2 being ahead in the game, but Kinguin not giving up, turning things around even after Kaelthas hit 16. And right now, we're looking at a really solid game with Kinguin having a slight lead. 12 kills against 10. Even in that regard, they were able to equalize the score. Well, not quite, but they're getting there. How is Gamers2 going to react to this? They need to take a fight at some point. There's another tribute on the map. It's only going to be the second one for Kinguin. It would be the first one for Gamers2. The Polish team suffered the loss of a key, but that of course is not game just yet. I mean, yes, Kinguin is ahead right now, just a tiny little bit, and is trying to get a better position up here at the top where the tribute is spawning. But who is going to take this game? Any team fight can now change the outcome, or at least the situation in the game. Blizzard not hitting too much, and good hit with a flame strike, immediately being healed out. Norok is also at the front, locking down Johanna, and Stubble being used. The trade is down for a long time now, so they need to be careful with this one. Johanna is now vulnerable. Juve knows that as well, but he's still up at the front. Chihu has the increased range on his Impale. He can jump in from behind the wall quite easily, and he's waiting for an opportunity to do that. Another lockdown right here. Invido moving in from the side. Again, a good flame strike against Snow. Tyrann is getting a bit low here, and Gat is trying to zone out Anubarak. Norok up at the front. Howling Blast again. Once more, the hit against Jaina. Always Jaina. Always her. Trying to get her damage out. Over here, the attempt to take down Invido. It jumps back with the wave. Norok is already moving in the little more elemental. Also, the Phoenix are being used. The Divine Shield of Anubarak helps him to just dive in once again. But Johanna is super low. The Indestructible Shield is being procced. And Anubarak goes down. And just like that, they're following it up. Taking another tank on. Bashek in the back is moving back with his own Bolt of the Storm. Nika about to die. The owl to the face is finishing him. And this could be game. This should be game. This has to be game. We still have Redemption. Are they going to chase Leo? It doesn't look like it. Nepse is going to chase him a bit, but the rest of the team is just moving in. They're not even bothered about that keep anymore. They're going straight for the core here with another 38 seconds on Anubarak. They are trying to finish the game out right now. This is Kinguin going for the victory. They're trying to win it, and there's the GG already. Kinguin taking the final here at the ZOTAC Cup with a 2-0 against Gamers2. Really well played. Flawless victory, not even dropping a mag. Very solid performance by them. Congratulations, Gamers2 with a solid performance here as well, but they come in second place after losing this series without taking a map against Kinguin.
And Kinguin takes it, a 2-0 victory against Gamers2. And guys, this game, I mean seriously, that was awesome. The entire time they are tied, then suddenly this one fight where we really see here all of a sudden Gamers2 snowball a bit, win the battle, curse the opponent's team, go for boss. Kinguin moves in and they nearly take the boss. It was so close, but just in the last few seconds Arthas dies before Anubarak does. They start a snowball from there, take once again Kinguin down. Kinguin is cursed. They are up against a boss and against the opponent's team. They lose experience, they drop behind, and they are just still believing in their chance to make it and hold on, just barely, but start to crawl their way back into the game, and all of a sudden the entire thing turns again. Really well done, super cool series here in my opinion, really enjoyed that. I was personally really hoping for a third game, but I have to admit that the two maps that we saw were pretty damn awesome. I hope you enjoyed them as well. I definitely had a lot of fun casting it, and I hope you enjoyed the commentary. If you did, basically give the video a thumbs up on YouTube, and also of course if you have any questions regarding the lineup or anything else, just drop a quick comment into the comment section. Subscribe to Khaldor TV if you haven't done it yet, and guys, I'm gonna see you soon with more Heroes of the Storm here on the channel, so have a good day. Bye bye.